We got another legend in the building. We got another legend in the building soon. Something Out of Nothing Sports Podcast coming at you live and direct. Another legend in the building. I cannot describe this young brother no other. You know, we talking about uptown, downtown, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. I'm talking about Maryland, Virginia. It don't matter. You know this brother, man. And it's just an honor for him to be on this platform, man. I'm just gonna get right into it. I have no other than the one, the only, Mr. Abdul Hill. How you doing, sir?
How you doing? Good evening.
Hey, man, hey, it's
Mr.
good.
Mr. Tal, how you doing, man? Long
Man,
time, bro.
yeah, it's been a minute, man. And like we was talking earlier, it's just a pleasure to have you on this platform. And like I told you earlier, I always looked up to you, you know, even though we just a year apart, I always looked up to you and honored you because you was doing some of the things that I wanted to do, you know, in my career. And I always looked at you as an example to follow the footsteps of that. You and your brothers and your father and everybody over there, man, y'all set the tone, man, and that family structure that y'all got over there is just honorable, man. It's second to none. And man, I can't commend you no more than what I already did to have you on my platform, man. It's a honor and a pleasure for you to be here.
Well, definitely an honor to be on your platform. I appreciate, you know, you reaching out and stuff like that. You know, I definitely have been following you since you first started doing, you know, the podcast and stuff. I've checked out the videos and stuff. Some of the guys that you interviewed already and stuff like that that came up with us, you know, as we was coming up as youth and you know, even the adults. So the things that you're doing stuff on your podcast and stuff like that, man, you keep on pushing and stuff like that, man. Most definitely a lot of respect for you.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. I had to do it, man. It's some people, man, that I hear. I started looking at Kurt Smith and all them when they was doing the Red Cup
Yeah,
tape and all that stuff.
my cousin Ricky Gorn started that
Yeah,
off.
man, and I honored that, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, what happened? And maybe we'll get that story later, but I always modeled that system. But they was interviewing, man. They had big interviews and big people. Grant Hill was on there, you know, Dennis Scott, all them guys. And when I looked at the platform, I saw that they was missing some guys, and one of the guys in particular, like yourself, because like when we talk about gods and just period people that can flat out do it and get it done, they don't mention the Abduls, the Hanifs, like they should. They mention them, but it to me, they don't mention y'all enough. And then Big Dre, was an all MAC. 1996, he made
Sure
all MAC.
was.
And they won the whole city.
CIAA, yep, it sure did.
So, and then they don't give him his just due. They just don't. And for me, I built this because I wanted to put people like that on a platform and talk about them and let them tell their stories. We talk about I had Damian Pearson on here. And
Damon P.
man, Damian P, man, but you know something that was crazy that me and Damian talked about, not to talk about them while you on here, but all of us went to school together, man. If you wanted a God, you can go to Burrville and get a God.
Oh yeah, people fail to realize when we came over to transfer over Burrville, we came from uptown up at Raymond Elementary and transferred because we had moved over to Northeast over on Hayes Street.
Yes.
And when we came to Burrville, I went to Burrville 1 year. I was in 6th grade. Then my brothers and my sister, they came through and graduated as well as Burrville. But when we went to Burrville, my year there, we were the only undefeated team in the DC area and didn't even go to the playoffs.
Ooh. What happened with the playoffs?
I don't know what happened, back then or whatever like that, but we were undefeated the whole season. Yeah, like we had we had Jason Hinton, which went on to Dunbar.
Yeah.
Big Dre, that was at Anacostia.
Yeah.
Quincy Potts that went to H.D. Wilson.
Yeah.
Big Tim Mobley that
Yeah.
was that played we used to call him the cleanup man.
Yeah.
Ricardo Keys, that
Yeah.
rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
His cousin Carlos Keys,
Yeah.
Julio, Rodney Thomas,
Yeah.
CJ. Man, we had a mob, especially
Yeah.
our starting five. We had a mob. We was destroying people.
We were stacked, and like I was telling Dre, you name all them people, man. I'm forgotten. I don't. We so
Man,
stacked,
I think we
bro.
might have only had. It was only maybe full of the team. It was only four, maybe 5, 6 graders, and everybody else was you all's, fifth grade or whatever the case may be. So,
Yeah,
we was kind of stacked, and we went undefeated. So,
man.
our coach was Rutledge.
Yeah, Rutledge.
Yeah.
Rutledge stayed there forever, man. I
Mhm.
remember giving him a little problems, but he was a cool teacher and cool basketball coach,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know who you are, man, can you give a short, brief introduction of who you are and how you got to this point?
Well, I'm Abdul Hill, part of the Hill family. Me and my brothers, especially Hanif and my youngest brother, Muhammad. I'm really proud of both of them, right now in this present time, because Hanif is he's branched out. He's done some things, went overseas and trained a national China team back in the day, as well as he's worked with Under Armour for a number of years from tour, maybe about 10 to 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's real cool and has done the Steph Curry camps for the last maybe 6 to 7 years. He's also now, I think he's doing like the grassroots program for Detroit Pistons. So he's definitely branched out and done some good things for himself as well as his family. Muhammad, he played in high school at Cadoza and at Fairmont Heights. He's on the team with Fairmont Heights when he played with Chris McCray back then. And then he went on, and Muhammad done some great things, man. Now he owns the museum store, which is in Northeast DC.
Oh, that's crazy because I just went there.
Oh, really? Yeah, Muhammad owns that.
Yeah, I hope I ain't see him and didn't recognize who
He probably did see him and probably didn't recognize it was him, but he owns the museum.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, then my sister, she's married and stuff like that, have her family, her and her husband and daughter. And Jihad, the one that's a little older than Muhammad, he works at the store too. He's one of the managers, the district manager at the museum.
Wow, that's what I think I saw him.
Yeah, he probably a little short, yeah. But we came up uptown. Well, me and Honey often at number 10, Boys and Girls Club, where we started out at. I've been around basketball since I was about 5 years old. My father started me out. I was the youngest one on the team playing basketball at 6 years old. Went on and, Honey followed that lead and started playing as well. And then we get over to Burville and got an opportunity to play school ball for the first time. Because at Raymond, back then, they didn't have, they had basketball team, but it wasn't like it was at Burville.
It wasn't developed enough,
right?
It
wasn't developed or anything like that. Plus, they didn't have a gym. They had, we had to practice, play in the cafeteria.
Okay.
At that time, like Burville, and Burville was one of the first DC public schools that wore uniforms.
Yeah, that wore uniforms and for River had a real live gym. Like
had a gym, had a gym and everything. Like they had everything. You would never know. When we went over there and stuff like that. And then we started playing basketball, and since we had already started early, we was already accustomed to playing organized basketball. So when we went over to Burville, I left Burville and ended up going to Jefferson Junior High School.
Yeah.
I played my 8th grade year, 7th grade year. I got cut at the last minute because it was only they had a stack squad back then. They had a Poobie, Brent that was at Dunbar.
Okay.
Who else they had? I think, matter of fact, Anwar McQueen might have left a year before then. They had Donald Gaither there.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of guys. Russell Brown, who's Jamie Foster Brown's the lady that runs Sister to Sister magazine.
Wow.
Her son, Mike Gill.
Wow.
Mike Gill was at Jefferson. James Wade, that was at Coolidge, and who's now coaching, who's assistant coach at Gwynn Park right now with Rob Gardner.
Yeah, I just had Rob Gardner on last week.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Rob's a good guy, man. Real guy. I got a chance to meet him at a combine that was about a couple of months ago at a PG Community College, where though they offered about 15 kids offers for the NAII schools.
Yeah.
It was about 90 kids there.
Wow. Yeah. People don't know, man. That NAIA, man, got some. I know a guy that went NAIA that played with me at Montgomery. Out there, Brian Hunt, better known as Smut.
Yeah, Smut. Yeah, I know Smut.
Yeah, Smut. Smut went to
Smut real well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Smut real well.
Yeah.
He came up. He was at Dunbar when he was at high school. I remember Smut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, left Jefferson and ended up going to Wilson.
Okay.
The crazy part of that, I played 1 year in junior high school and 1 year in high school, and I ended up quitting in high school because me and the coach didn't get along.
Okay.
And when I was at Forestville, when I left Wilson and went to Forestville.
Oh man, we gotta get into that. Oh, hey man,
you know, the DC story is always, man. It's a lot of the guys and stuff like that. This area has so much talent. See guys and stuff like that. Whereas though that, man, sometimes you take a different direction. Sometimes when you get older, you get inspired by what getting some money or whatever the case may be, the girls or whatever. So you lose focus. And I was one of them. I ain't gonna lie. I was one of them. I got off track and then got back on track. And then, but the thing is, in the long run, I graduated with honors out of high school. Ended up going to Howard and stuff like that. Still got to finish at Howard. I ended up having my first son. But I took care of him all these years and stuff. Like he's in college now.
Oh yeah, great, man. I follow you, so I know I be watching,
Yeah, so for the number of those years and stuff, like when I got back on track and stuff, like especially when I graduated out of high school, I ended up start getting into coaching basketball. Because I always was well-rounded about basketball because my father was a prime example of showing us as far as the value in being a man and taking care of your children. And as well as, he did that for hundreds of guys that played basketball in his program.
Absolutely.
So I took that route. So
and so and we're gonna get into Pops, we're gonna get into him, but what I want to know from you, your 8th grade year, you said you played, right? Did you finish at Jefferson your 9th grade?
I graduated from Jefferson.
What made you
in my 9th grade year, losing focus, playing around, and messed up in a couple of my classes, so I couldn't play. And which I should have been playing. But my 8th grade year, we were stacked too. We had like I said, James Wade went to Coolidge. There's a guy named Cal that went to Coolidge. He had transferred in. Michael Gill.
The thrill.
Russell Bradley, the real. See, me and Mike played AAU together as well as Jefferson together.
Gotcha.
Mike Gill, Russell Brown. We had a few guys on that team, man, was tough and stuff like that at that time and stuff like that. I think we made it to the playoffs maybe that year, whatever like that, and end up losing or whatever. But we was stacked as well at Jefferson.
Going to Jefferson, right? Did you knew you was going to Jefferson from Burrville? What made you? Because I remember when in Jeff, right? You had to test in to get in there. You just couldn't go to Jeff back in the day.
Yeah, my grades spoke for themselves because I pretty was academically I was pretty good academically. So I did back then it was I think my father probably knew somebody and you know, and Jefferson was one of the top academic schools back then, them and
Hands down.
Aliceville.
Yeah, hands
So
down.
it was tough to get in there and stuff. But once you
Yeah,
got in there and stuff like that, the principal there, which was Miss Vera White, she
yeah,
didn't play that. Like she was like Mr. Henry at
yeah,
Burrville,
yeah,
but she was a lot tougher. Like she didn't, you know, at Burrville and stuff like Mr.
yeah.
Henry was cool.
He was,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
He
He was
was
super
tough
cool.
though too. Though
He was tough. He was
like,
fair.
yeah, he
He
was
was fair.
fair. Yeah,
But Miss Vera White, she did not play that.
he ain't
Like
play no
you wasn't
game.
nobody, no games, no hall. You better
That's
not
not
be in no hallway.
that sound like Miss Jones for us. Miss Jones, man, at
Yeah.
Roper didn't play no game. She was
Oh,
like
no.
6'4", hands like a
Oh.
giant.
Yeah, Miss White was like 6 feet something.
Whew.
She was a tall lady. She was, but
Yeah,
she didn't play that, man. But she,
yeah,
you know, you think about it, man, as you get older and stuff like that, people like that are coming to your life,
yeah,
especially that early, because it was a lot different back when we was coming up.
yeah.
The value that they had for you having the importance of education and, you know, staying focused and stuff like that. It helps you out as you become an adult. You know,
Absolutely.
some schools didn't prepare you for to become an adult. You know what I'm saying? And
I
it has
got
to be a
stories.
village. They when
Yeah.
they say it's a village is the truth, because
Oh yeah.
your parents, you know, the way your character is when you come out of your household, you represent your parents, you represent yourself, and you
Right.
represent the school that you go to, whatever the case may be. And those some of those folks that on my journey through school and stuff like that, they definitely taught me a lot as I look back on it. You know, at that time, sometimes, you know, you're a kid, you like, man, I ain't listening to that. You trying to be in with the in crowd and all that stuff like that.
Right. Right.
And, you know, you're not noticing that as you get older and stuff like that, now you see other kids that's coming up and stuff like that, you trying to speak that same stuff to them. Some of them kids ain't trying to hear that,
Right.
you know, until and before it's too late, you know. It's
Right.
unfortunate, but
Yeah, very unfortunate. I hear so boom, you went to Jeff from 7th to 9th.
mhm.
You played ball. Your father is like more than a legend, and you know, because everybody I talk to, they talk
Mhm.
about your father, and we're gonna get in there a little bit. But
Mhm.
my question to you was, coming out of junior high school, are you highly recruited at this point? Like, cause you,
Um, back then it wasn't, it's not like it is now.
yeah,
Back then it was maybe like word of mouth. Um, you know, it ain't looking past like on the internet or on social media stuff. It
right,
just back then it was if you had a game or something like that, not many high school coaches come see the middle school games unless
yeah,
you was playoffs or something
yeah,
like that of that nature and stuff. It's
yeah,
not like it is because, you know, even a lot more coaches see you more play youth basketball
yeah,
than in on, you know, in junior high, whatever the case may be. Now it's a lot different. It's a lot of coaches that do go to these middle school games to see so they can recruit and, you know, within their program and all that stuff
yeah,
like that. But back then it wasn't as much. But the the coaches at Wilson back at that time when I went to Wilson,
yeah.
they had a turnover ratio of coaches at Wilson. So it
Gotcha.
wasn't no bona fide coach that was, you know, there was
The
that
whole time.
yeah, for a number of years, like they might be there a couple of years and then they gone.
What made you choose Wilson and coming out of Jefferson? Because I'm thinking like the people that you from
Mhm.
you uptown, you talking about Michael Gill
Mhm.
is a household name that we all know. Went to
Mhm.
Dunbar, we talking about you from uptown, so you got Cadoza, you got
Mhm.
Dunbar, you got Coolidge, you got all these schools. Wilson is like further
Yeah,
on.
Wilson was a feeder school for Jefferson because Jefferson didn't have a high school down in Southwest at that time.
Got you.
But also, I was recruited for football over at Anacostia.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that, but I, you know,
Yeah.
because the assistant coach that was over there, the name was Tucker, and he was
Okay.
one of the coaches up at Woodridge when I used to play Woodridge for
Okay.
football.
You
So he was trying to get me to come over to Anacostia bad.
got you.
Um, Also, the coach, rest in peace, Coach Fleming, who was at Wilson for a number of years.
Got you.
The first day I got in Wilson, he came looking for me. Hey man, come on out. You got football practice, man. That's what he told me. I'm like, man, what?
He's like,
I ain't nothing but $1.20.
Right. I ain't getting out there.
I ain't nothing but $1.20, man. You crazy?
Yeah.
I went out there though, man. I went out there, man.
Oh, so you did play?
Yeah, I did play for like a couple of games, man. Then I broke my hand. I was just like, nah, this ain't for me.
Right.
Nah.
Gotcha.
Plus, them dudes, man, I wasn't seriously into getting in the weight room and all that stuff. Right. If I would have known that, like I know now,
yeah.
I was definitely.
Me too. I'm with you. I was $135 probably. I played, but I ain't really get in because I ain't want.
That was always quick, you know. I had heart and stuff like that, but man, them dudes was big as a mud bag. I ain't gonna front, man. I wasn't playing around like that. So
you play with Woodridge though. You play with Azar.
Yeah, man. Azar. Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you, we played. So one year it was me, Azar, this dude named Rico, from Southeast. He was a beast. Yeah. Him and Azar, him, Azar, and I'm trying to think. My man, Greg Ebron.
Okay.
His son is one of the top receivers at Curl.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing real well and stuff like that. And then this dude named Richard Armstead was playing quarterback, and I played backup quarterback, played wide receiver, slot back, whatever. Yeah, I played a number of positions as well as Azar. Yeah, me and Azar played, as me and Azar played basketball and football together.
Okay. I ain't know Azar knew how to play basketball.
Yeah, Azar played basketball too. Him and his brothers.
And okay, and he went to Dunbar.
I know, them my man. I know all
them.
Them,
That's why I had to ask. I was like, oh, he played.
Yeah. Me and Zah go way back, man.
Yeah, you got legends in your, you know a whole lot of legends, man. From whether it's from you meeting them, your brothers, your fathers. You know what I'm saying? That household name, that Hill family, man. It don't get no better.
Hey, man.
At Wilson, you played your what year? Because you said you played 1 year of basketball in high school.
1 year when I played, I went to Fort when I tried out for Wilson.
Okay.
I tried out at that time when I tried out my 10th grade year, my first year up there.
Okay.
And they kind of had a stack squad. Was all right. Well, they my man Leslie Ballard.
Leslie Ballard.
My man.
Yeah.
Slim can boogie, man. 10th grade and stuff like that. I think he might have played JV his first year, whatever. But he ended up playing varsity, 11th grade, whatever. He was all met.
Yeah.
Leslie Ballard, my cousin Kenyon McDuffie, who was the Ward 5 counsel.
Ooh.
He played at Wilson.
Man.
Yeah, he played at Wilson. I'm trying to think who else they had. Rodney Slayton.
Okay.
He was a beast back then. He played at Wilson and stuff like that. They had there's some dudes back there at Wilson that can play back then, but during that time, 10th grade, it's like they don't give you that opportunity unless you really known like that back then.
Right. Man, you one and the same, because I feel like my years at Wilson, I'm like, I ain't make the squad, both years or whatever. And I'm like, man, I can get down with the best of them. So
oh yeah, I get intramurals. We gave our games used to be packing intramurals at Wilson.
Yeah.
I gave fits.
Yeah, I know you did. I'm like, you wanted to, like, it's kind of surprising, because that's to hear you say, like, man, you didn't make the team on 10th grade year. It's just like, it's mind-boggling, to be honest with you, because I know you can boogie. I know you can get down with the best of them. So, when you it's like you've been you paying your dues to other people, but I know that you can boogie with them. I know you can
I give whoever the blues. It don't
matter. Yeah. So that's what's so frustrating about, like, and I want to talk about that a little bit, because like a lot of kids, you got some kids that can they going through that now that can really boogie.
Yeah.
And it might be grades, it might be maybe the coach don't like, personality, or maybe it might be you in the 12th grade and I got this 10th grader that I can develop or something like that. So I definitely want to get into that and talk about that, because you can boogie. Like, we all know, you get down with with the best of them. They can give them buckets, whatever. It don't matter. So, what made you from Wilson go to you transferred to Forestville? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Wilson. I would, like I said, you get to the point where sometimes you don't get focused. Mess around. Grades was messed up. And after a while, my father. After my 11th grade year, my father was trying to send me to California for school. And I was like, man, I ain't going to California. They got because my thing was they got gangs. You hear about, not knowing if you haven't been there, but you hear it through the media or whatever case maybe. They got gangs and stuff. I ain't going out that joint. I ain't with all that. You know what I'm saying? And then my mother moved out to right there in Capitol Heights.
Yeah, I remember.
And I ended up going to Forestville and went to Forestville my 11th grade year. Tried out for the basketball team. I was starting at first until I broke my hand in the game. And then when I came back off injury reserve, the coach tried to put me in the game like 3 seconds left. And I was like, man, I ain't going no game on 3 seconds. And then the coach got into it after the game, into the locker room, man. But I look back on and stuff like I should have, made a better decision with that. But at that time, I invited people to come to the game. They come to the game, I'll give them the game 3 seconds. Nah.
We can't.
I know I can get out there, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
But my thing is that it wasn't just being that, not having an ego with it, but it's just the principle part about it. I'd rather not be put in the game than put in 3 seconds.
Right.
So
don't disrespect me like that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit. I can see if it was 45 seconds or something. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I can get in there and do a little something. But 3 seconds, what I'm gonna do it 3 seconds?
Yeah, the dudes on the team and stuff like they was, some of them was frustrated behind that, my decision maker. They know I was back. I would back them. And the dude I played with some good dudes at Forestville. They won the champ. They ended up winning the championship that year. I had Joe Lofton on my team.
Wow.
Joe Lofton, that was all Matt.
Yeah.
Joe Lofton was playing. My man Dwayne Jefferson, Big Meat, played at Forestville. James Washington, Boogie, who was the girls coach at he just got another coaching job. He was at Rock Creek, if I'm not mistaken, but he's one of the top girl coaches in the area, doing real well.
Yeah.
Kip, who was Anthony Butler.
Yeah.
Real good dude. My man Kevin Wood played. Donnell Taylor, who's one of the top real estate agents in this area right now.
Right.
TaylorMade. It's called TaylorMade. That's what they group called it, TaylorMade.
Hey, y'all better pay attention.
Yeah. So my man Daryl Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. We Daryl Banks. We had some good dudes on the team. They ended up winning the championship and stuff like that. Then the following year, my man Michael Green, good dude, can boogie. Then my 12th grade year, crazy part is that after I got into it with the coach, I ended up transferring to Blair.
Okay, so you went out. So look, the first person I know that went to all 3 regions. You went to PG to Montgomery County.
So I went to Blair for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Man, Blair had to be to school at 7 o'clock in the morning. They get out like 1:30. I said, nah, I'm transferring back to Forestville. I transferred back to Forestville my 12th grade year, ended up graduating. Honest, man, half a day schedule. I played football my senior year.
Okay.
With Forestville, graduated.
Okay.
So then from there, went on to Howard.
Okay.
And major in finance and stuff like that, man. And then, like I said, some years down, you in the city and stuff. You a city boy and going to school in the city, that ain't gonna work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
let me ask you this though. So you go to Howard, you in Howard at 95, right?
96. Because the crazy part, I end up getting kept back when I was at Wilson.
Okay.
My 11th grade year, they kept me back because I wasn't doing that.
Okay.
So that's why I ended up transferring to Forestville. And 11th grade, man, from there on, man, 3.7, 3.8 grade point average.
Got you. And so at Howard, you don't try to walk on and play ball there?
No, they tried to, because see, at that time it was Howard had Jabari Oots, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Melvin Watson, rest in peace. They played at Potomac. He played at Potomac and ended up going to Howard. And then Xavier Singletary, who was at Dunbar, Boo had ended up transferring, had ended up going to Howard. But they definitely asked me because Mike McLeese, who was the coach at Dunbar, was the coach at that time.
Yeah, I had him on here.
But Melvin and they definitely was, man, because I used to hang with Melvin and Jabari when we was at school, and they was like, man, you need to go in and try to walk on. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to play no basketball, man. But you know what I'm saying? I should have, but I look back sometimes, man. If you're not really into it, I'm not gonna press myself out, because there's a lot, as far as getting back into shape, working out. I know.
Yeah, I'm trying that now. It's a hard way to go, bro. It's easy to pick up the pounds. It's hard to lose it, man. For all y'all youngsters that's looking, don't get out of shape, bro. It's hard. Yeah. It's easy to get out of shape.
I'm definitely learning that.
Yeah, it's easy to get out of shape. It's hard to get back in shape.
Yeah, most definitely.
So the things that you learned when you went to Howard, I mean, your time from there, was you thinking coaching was in your realm, or you just wind up walking into coaching? How did that come about with you coaching?
I end up walking into coaching.
Okay.
So what happened was at number 10 and stuff like that, they start having some issues about with the facility and everything like that. Yeah. So I just started volunteering. Yeah. And then especially when my son was born or whatever, I just started volunteering. Yeah. And I volunteered, here and there, and then I started volunteering more and stuff like that, And once I really started getting into it, then that's when it really kicked in. Really kicked in, and I'm glad that it happened that way, instead of it being forced on me. I'm glad it happened that way, because now, I'm years in, and the value of doing it and stuff, of helping other youth and stuff like that coming up, and a lot of kids that I've coached over the years. And they've gone on to be successful and doing, they've been becoming young men, as well as girls. They've been becoming young women, So I look back on it, the things that my father did, showed me, as far as not just being my father, but being a prime example of giving other young men opportunities, and giving them the tool to succeed and move on in life. That he showed me the blueprint, and I definitely commend him on that, and definitely respect him for that. Him and a couple of other coaches and stuff. We'll get into those coaches and stuff as well in the program.
Oh yeah. Let's go right in. Well, not with the coaches, but I hear you talk about your father. You not the only person to talk about him though. Man, I do interview after interview, man, and I'm Andre Thomas talk about him.
Big
and
Dre.
He gave a story about when he met y'all at Burville, and
we recruited Dre. We recruited Dre. Yeah.
He said he a big young, and he like,
and
y'all like, we need a big man.
Yeah, big, and plus the thing, once we seen him in the gym, because the crazy part, man, we seen him in the gym for I think we had trials or something like that for the team. And he came out, right? We couldn't believe how big he was, and he can how quick he was for a big man like that, and he had some skills. So once we we start, we talking, hey man, why don't you come play with us? I told him come play with us or whatever. Man, he came to play with us, and man, Dre ended up starting. Yeah, so just imagine, that team, how we started off with him and stuff like that. And even Jason too, Jason Hinton as well. Jason came over to play with us.
Man, y'all was stacking and loaded. So before we get into that, can you talk about like your father and like you know, everybody know him, like all the kids know him. Like it was mind boggling because I'm like, yo, who like I told you earlier when we talked earlier during the week, we talked about Kevin Lewis. He told me he
Oh,
like,
Big
yeah,
Kim. Yeah,
yeah,
Big
yeah,
Kim.
man, Huck. I'm
Yeah.
like, who is Huck? Who are you talking about, dude?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
Kim and he played together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that? Like, maybe
So
where the name come from, Huck, and you know how everything started with.
this is the story he told me.
Yeah.
When he was young, my father and them, they from North Carolina.
Gotcha.
They from Wilmington, North Carolina. He came up here when he was like 13 years old.
Gotcha.
And actually, my father's not a basketball player. He just knows how to coach basketball and learn the game of coaching when he was younger. So back then, you know, they didn't have as many boys and girls clubs and all that stuff. But when they did open one up in Uptown or whatever, when my father, they recruited him and he started because first he was coaching baseball. My father was a baseball player.
Okay.
So when he came up here, when they moved in the neighborhood, he used to wear dirty bucks.
Okay.
So that's what they give him. So when he comes on the baseball field, that's what they call him. They call him Huck because he's a country boy.
Gotcha.
They call him Huckabuck.
Oh, Huckabuck.
Because he's had the dirty bucks on.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where the name come from, Huckabuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and it just stuck with him and stuff like that. And you see dudes, man, I've been out of town, man, other states and stuff like even when we used to go to tournaments and stuff, and people be knowing this man. I still don't understand that, man.
Yeah.
We went to Utah. I'll tell you one story. We went to Utah, 12 and under, and Big Dre was on that team too. Big Dre, and Steve Francis and all that.
Yeah.
We went to Utah, man, and somebody knew him in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, man.
Man,
that was crazy.
Yeah, you like how you know you pop?
Yeah, how you know he? Man, hey man, I'd be like, man, that's crazy.
I'm legendary.
Yeah, but he started, man. When he started coaching in like maybe like the late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
At number 10, started teams and stuff like he was coaching football and basketball. And then after a few years, he just stopped. He said, you know, football really wasn't his thing.
Right.
He said the basketball, he loved the basketball and stuff like that. So man, he started coaching basketball. And I'm talking about, man, when he started programming at number 10, Donald Ford, at Dunbar.
Yeah, great. Legendary.
Grady Sullivan, that played back in the day, him.
Yeah.
He had a number of dudes that came out of the city and stuff like that. And then when this gentleman named Mr. Webster, Cliff Webster, he runs the Kingman Boys and Girls Club.
Gotcha.
Cliff Webster was all met at Cadoza back in the 60s. Tall gentleman. His son ended up playing at Coolidge and stuff, Terry Webster. And his grandson's a beast now. He plays at McKinley Tech right now.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, Lil Terrell.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he a beast.
Yeah.
But Mr. Webster, him and my father linked up together, and Mr. Webster asked my father, do he want to take over, the Kingman Pythons, which was an AAU program that he was just starting.
Right.
Father went out, started recruiting and stuff like that. And with the first Kingman Python team was Dwayne Simpkins, DeMatha, Vaughn Jones, Nee Nelson Richards, Darren McClinton. Who else they had on that team? They had this dude named Jamal Colbert, rest in peace.
Okay.
Jermaine Brown, that was at Curl and Dunbar at one time.
Man.
Had a number of other dudes on that team. I forgot who else. And then the second team was Anwar McQueen.
Yeah.
They went to Cal Berkeley, and that was at St. Albans. Sammy Briggs, Earl Pep Tyson, Greg Jones. All of them was on the same team.
Man, that's crazy.
Then there was another team that had Kenyon McDuffie, my cousin.
Yeah.
Jason Muscuri.
Yep, I know him.
That runs the Society Lounge.
Yeah.
Jason Muscuri. Ronald Pee Wee Brooks.
Jason Muscuri.
Huh?
Not to cut you off, Jay McScurry played at Montgomery too, right? I
Yeah.
think.
Yep. Yeah.
Bad boy.
All of them was on the bad boy.
Yeah.
All of them on the same team. Darian Clark. They went to Roosevelt.
Yep.
Yeah. They all of them was on the same team. And then our team, we started out, it was me, myself,
Yeah.
Big Dre, Aaron Moody, that was at Gonzaga, went to Savannah State,
Right.
Kevin Jones,
Mm,
Shakir Brew.
mm.
Shakir Brew played, I think Shakir played at Springbrook, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Jamal Hutchinson,
Mm.
Steve Francis.
I was stacked.
Yeah, well, he was
Wonder why y'all ain't say, well, we don't need no other guards or nothing. You good.
yeah, we was stacked, Slim.
Yeah.
Kenny Alford, then with the Murray, Michael Gill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was pretty stacked, man. Pretty
Man.
stacked. Yeah. But and then
Man.
it was Neef and them, Neef,
Yeah.
Neef, Xavier Singletary, who else to play with them at one time? Eric Branham,
Yeah.
Sheik Pearson, Kevin Lewis,
Yeah.
Tywan Campbell.
Mm.
Yeah, well, they had a number, and
These,
Reginald Brooks.
these are all the names that came in Python.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, man. I
Yeah.
mean, because, and that's another thing that, I mean, like your pops, Mr. Hill, like when you talk about legendary, like we give what's my guy name? I was just talking about him, that started the AAU program or whatever. Your pops been started the AAU program that
Yeah,
was
he was one of the first ones that started AAU program
yeah.
before, because it wasn't back then. It wasn't that many teams with AAU. We was kind of maybe the most dominant AAU program back
Right.
in the early 80s and 90s up into 90s or whatever like that.
Right.
So back then we was stacked. It was tough to get on a squad with us because we had one team for each age group.
Yeah.
It was tough to get in. You come, like we had rest in peace to LeBarry Williams,
Okay.
who assisted my father
Right.
all those years and stuff like that. And LeBarry was like the drill sergeant. Like you couldn't. He the one taught us, you as far as you cursing and all, ain't no cursing and all that stuff. Like he'd make you eat soap.
Yeah. Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember them
We
days.
had Mitch Cradle.
Okay.
Mitch Cradle is ex-homicide detective
Okay.
for DC, and he's one of the top movie directors in this area right now.
Wow.
And he was one of our coaches and stuff like that back then as well and stuff like that. And yeah, Damon Roberts, who was one of the assistant coaches over at Spingarn.
Gotcha.
He was one of the coaches as well. And as well as Dwayne Simpkins' father, Mr. Sylvester Simpkins.
Oh man.
He was me and Mike played with him, and they had a Beltway league that go out in Montgomery County. And we probably had like about 5 people on our team. We went all the way to the championship, man. Me, Mike Gill, and Billy Hahn, who's the assistant coach for West Virginia.
Okay.
His son Matt, who's a coach up at University of Vermont. He might not be coaching anymore, but Matt Hahn played with us at that time back then.
Wow. Man, you got so many names and stories, man. It's just phenomenal that you remember all this stuff too.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I learned that basically from my father. Like, man, when you have conversations with him at his age, man, he's 72 years old, man. The man is shocked as far as how understand how he's like, because he worked for Howard 33 years.
Right.
And the man can tell you about somebody's stats that was probably back in 90 something and to this day.
Wow.
So, it helped me along the way as far as, having a good memory about, especially the people that came up with us within basketball, just as a whole and stuff like that. When you have organizations like that people are loyal and stick with that within that organization for a number of years until they branch out to play high school, whatever the case may be. You don't see that. You don't see that no more, because they got about 1,000 AAU teams. So you got parents taking this kid from that to this team, to that
Yeah.
team. You don't know, it's no loyalty.
I hate the fact that not hate you, but I don't like when you develop a kid and then the big dogs come in and try to get them and stuff like
But
that.
that happens all the time.
Man,
That happens
all the
all the
time.
time. A lot of dudes, and one thing I respect about a lot of guys, although they might have they have their own MO about what they're doing or how they're trying to get ahead.
Yeah,
One thing I respect about a lot of the coaches, they taking time out their personal time
yeah,
to coach your kid.
absolutely.
Now, on the other end, is that how you present yourself with your character
Right,
is how you gonna get more kids. I always told parents, when they come to my program, when I start really coaching and stuff, I always tell them like, I don't hold you hostage. If you want to go play AAU team, this and that, I have no problem with that. I don't hold you hostage because I'm always get kids, always,
right,
just because of my track record and the
yeah,
character that I present to people.
right,
So I don't trip off, if you go on to playing. I recommend if your kid is, you think that your kid is not learning with me or whatever like that, I
yeah,
guarantee you when you go to one of those other teams or a coach that knows me and stuff like that, and they ask you where you come from, they're gonna speak highly of me.
yeah, absolutely.
And that's not being no ego or nothing. It's just facts.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah, I just keep it like that, man. And if it's a lot more loyalty with these programs they'll be really successful because a lot
no,
of programs now they're trying to
no
take
question.
so many elite kids,
Yeah, no question.
and not even think about those kids that's late bloomers. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because you got a couple of kids in the area, like, man, I had some kids that played with me in the past. I knew they was gonna be late bloomers. You got a kid named Amadi Lee Kane right now.
Right.
So he went to another JUCO up in Pennsylvania, which is about
Oh,
2 hours away. This kid
yes.
was like 5'8" in high school.
Whew.
He's 6'2" now
Okay.
and can shoot from the parking lot.
Mm.
Late bloomer,
Ray Boom.
but it's just about giving a lot of these kids opportunities. A lot of these teams and stuff like that, you have 12 and 15 kids on the team and you only play 6 or 7 kids.
Right.
How the other kids gonna get the opportunity?
Right. I got two questions for you. Well, the first question I wanted to ask you, how did the Cadoza, because you coached at Cadoza, how
Mhm,
did that come about and
mhm,
what made you take on that gig and
mhm.
what have you? Can you talk about that a
Um,
little?
Yeah, well, I was over at number 10 and stuff, so I knew a lot of the kids in the area. A lot of people know, what I do as far as the program and everything like that.
Right.
Um, Hanif had got an opportunity to coach them some years ago, and one ended up winning the couple of championships or whatever.
Yeah.
So some time went past, and Cardoza had, their program went down for a number of years or whatever, and then they had got this new athletic director there. Um, and he had heard about me. So he reached out to me, and I turned it down the first time.
Okay.
So what happened was when I turned it down, I reached out to Charlie Moore Harrison.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
That's
Charlie.
something. Yeah.
I reached out to him and got him the interview over there, and they hired him over there.
Got
So when Charlie left after his fourth year there or whatever like that, the athletic director reached out to me again. I was the last person to interview.
you.
And he said, I've been trying to interview you, man. It's been going on 5 years now.
Right.
He's been trying to get me to come over there. So I said, man, let me go ahead interview and see how I go. And then I didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
Man, the man called me back that Monday. I think I interviewed on a Friday, called me back that Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanna take the job because interest, I want you to come and coach.
Right.
And that's how that worked. Once I came in, what I did when I had to revamp the program,
Yeah.
they had some kids that wasn't serious about their classroom. That was one of the main things I wanted to do.
Right.
The kids acclimated to the classroom. Not, basketball stuff, that stuff is secondary.
Yeah.
High school stuff, because the first thing a coach gonna ask me is, how's his
What the
grades?
grades? What the grades look like?
Yeah, off the break, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So when I came in, that was the first time, my first year I had got 2 full teams for JV and varsity.
Yeah.
At least 6 or 7 kids on each team was on the honor roll.
Wow.
So that was one of the things I, really, because I mean, it was some kids that never even was eligible ever at the
Yeah.
school.
Wow.
Because the school system is a lot different now. They're pushing a lot of kids through and not getting prepared for the world. So like, I made them, I hold them accountable. I made them sign contracts and everything. Like, this is what you need to maintain, this and that, in order to stay on this team.
Right.
And the kids that was there, they abide by it and stuff like that for the next 2 years. And then the last year I ended up leaving. They brought in another athletic director, and she didn't.
Things ain't go the way.
That knowing sports and knowing about sports and don't knowing about sports,
Right.
you have to have somebody that knows about sports when you
Right.
taking on a position like that. And that person wasn't,
Right.
So, and it's cool.
Yeah.
I ain't no thing, because there ain't no sweat on my brow, because I move on. I still do what I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you talk about you were saying something about the kids, with certain the school system pushing them through. How do you feel about that? Like, because I know, like, hearing about that, not just from you and a couple of other people. How do you feel about the school system pushing the kids through just because, like?
Yeah, I think it's a decision that they shouldn't have made. For one thing, is that how this world is about to be is everything is about to be technical.
Right.
Everything is through your phone. You got the social media thing. These kids are not prepared for the world, what comes about. Like, you have to be, your intelligence has to be on another level, because the generation that's coming up now, especially the younger kids, they're a lot more advanced than we were when we were coming up. Just think about it, it's a lot different. Everything is presented in front of them. They can Google everything. Right. We had to go actually to the library and get an old encyclopedia to find out stuff.
I was thinking about that with the man. I remember we talking about doing papers, research papers, and all that. And you had to go pick the card, the index card, to get the book and all that.
Kids don't have it no more. They got it right there on the phone or whatever case may be, and do it like that.
Yeah.
But see, the kids are so interested in what's going on for the moment, and not looking at the long haul behind things. And with the school system and stuff like that, they bring in a lot of what they feel, they bringing in a lot of folks that's coming to educate that are young themselves.
Right.
And they think that because they're young themselves, they can relate to these kids or what they have going on at home. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot what these kids or what they endure when they go home and when they leave at home. Some of them don't eat.
Yeah.
You gotta sit up there and teach a kid that don't eat no breakfast. You gotta come to the school just to eat breakfast.
Right. It's tough.
Then you pushing them through. They might have an attitude problem, whatever. They talking any kind of reckless to adults or whatever like that, man.
Yeah.
And when you coming up, man, you don't talk to no adults, recklessly like that
at all.
You gotta have some value about yourself, because the thing you understand is that when you need something and you have a good character and stuff like that, that adult is going to vouch for you.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not taught with a lot of these kids. Yeah. Unfortunately, but that's just the way the world is. And by these schools just pushing kids through that, I witnessed, man, some kids, man, that had under a 1.0. And they still graduated. They gave them a packet to do to graduate.
Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about that with my former coaches and my wife and because I got kids that go to DC public schools, and I got a kid that go to Charles County schools.
Okay,
and, man, it's night and day. Like and it's a lot with the DC schools, man.
It's a big difference, man. It's a big difference. It's unfortunate that you don't, as a Washingtonian, you want to have an actual initiative to send your kid to a DC public school because that's where you went at. But
Yes.
nowadays, you don't even want to do that. You try to
Nah,
find somewhere.
yeah, you go above and beyond to be like, oh, nah, we ain't doing
Exactly.
that. We ain't
And
doing that.
I understand some of these parents of, you know, you shouldn't have to pay for education, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you want your kid to really like, man, sometimes learn and be focused and stuff like that, you got to take that extra step too. You might go broke, but still too is that, you know, they're in a different situation than dealing with the DC public schools. And I hate to say that because I went to DC public schools.
Me too. Hey,
But
man.
now, I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. When and I know I'm gonna get ridiculed for it, but it's the truth. When I graduated from Wilson, went to Fayetteville State, man.
Uh,
Man, it was
Big difference,
hard.
wasn't it?
Man, it
Big
was
difference.
hard, bro. It was hard.
Yeah.
I ain't know some of the stuff, man, because it wasn't because I couldn't learn it. I just never, it was never
It was
presented
never
to
presented to you. Exactly.
never presented to me, man.
Exactly,
So
man.
and I used to work at Anacostia and you know, all I was doing security. I did worked at Anacostia, Ballou, Coolidge, Sousa Middle School, and different things. And I would see that it was kids that was like, I ain't gonna say felon, but like on the cusp of felon, and they'd graduate, man. The next thing you know, they'd say, man, they going to college. And one thing about that was they'd say, I'm like, well, where you going? They'd be like, oh, well, I'm going to Maryland Eastern Shore, or I'm going to Delaware State. And I'm thinking in my mind, they naming all HBCUs. I'm like,
Right.
man, how y'all get in there? In my mind.
Yeah.
And when I talk to certain people about it, they quick to back the HBCUs, and that's fine and dandy. But I know these kids wasn't doing no work.
They weren't prepared at all.
Nope, not
Oh,
at all.
I'm hip.
And we talk about it, and people, well, everybody deserve a chance, and this and this and that, you know.
Yeah, you deserve a chance. We're not taking away from that, but also that these kids need to be prepared for what comes along with that. Like those bad study habits that those kids have and stuff like that, just by trying to get by and stuff like that, that's not gonna work in college because
at all.
You're paying top dollar to go to college. And they're gonna get their money regardless if you don't do what you're supposed to do or not.
We ain't waking you up in the morning. We ain't making
None
sure
of that.
you turn your
None
work
of that.
in.
Those days are over.
Yeah, it's over with. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, we will be felling you.
Yeah, indeed.
You're gonna get paid regardless.
They put you on academic suspension immediately.
Immediately get you up out of there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just that's for me. That's what I like bringing in the coaching, because I want our kids to be prepared and understand it. And by your background, and you know, you kind of remind me of myself, because I ain't play all my years in high school. You know, I did play all junior high, but I ain't play all my years in high school. And you know, I'm coaching now rec ball and AAU, and you know, like I talked to you about getting a high school job and different things of that nature. And man, I looked at you. I looked at Hanif and you know Charlie Moe, some of these people, you know, and man, I take on that legacy, but I bring that to them with the same things you talk about, far as, you know, holding people accountable, holding the kids accountable, and different things like that.
Yeah,
so
it's some coaches out here like that, man. Malcolm Battle, Bard,
my man.
You know, Ali Foster at McKinley Tech.
Yes.
Michael Powell at Curl.
Yes.
Irk Singletary at Sidwell Friends.
Yes.
Then you got, man, I'm definitely proud of Trey Kelly that just got the Dunbar job.
Yeah, I had him on here.
Yeah, Trey Kelly, man. You know, him and Muhammad played together.
Yeah. Oh, for real?
Him and Muhammad played together.
Man.
Yeah. Him and Muhammad played together. Man. Yeah, man. You know, so you know, it's a lot of dudes in you know in the area and stuff like that, man. That's definitely doing something for the kids and stuff like that, man. You know, I definitely commend them and all that stuff like that, man. One of the dudes that started the organization with my father called the DC Warriors after he left, you know, stopped in with number 10, is dude named Anthony Tony Langley.
Okay.
He's the assistant coach over at Roosevelt High School with Rob Nickens.
Yeah, my man Rob
The
Nickens.
man is a genius in basketball.
Absolutely.
Tony Langley, he's a
Yeah.
genius.
Wow.
You know, but it's, you know, people like, you know, like the different AAU program, like we talked about the different AAU programs and all that stuff like that, man. Some of these guys are real good guys.
Yeah.
But you got some of them just, you know, a kid might play 1 year with them and they 1 year or one game. Man, I coach that kid.
Right.
You ain't do
He ain't coach. He just stopped by. He ain't
yeah.
coach. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why you think people do that though? Like what?
Man, it's more of I think it's more of getting their name out
Yeah.
there to get, you know, kids to, you know, understand, or get parents to, you know, come to their program, whatever the case may be. You know,
Right.
some guys got some different MO. Some of them got some good hearts. Some of them just, you know, and I look at it as though I don't talk bad about nobody.
Right.
I just keep it moving. It's probably some people probably say some stuff when they don't even know me.
Right.
I don't care nothing about that because I got a good track record and
Right.
I always have a good rapport with people.
Right.
And you don't have a good rapport with people and stuff like that, you ain't got to never speak on your name. You know,
Right.
that's one thing. You ain't got to never do that. You know, your results speak for themselves. You
Right.
know?
Question for you. In NIL, how you feel about the NIL name, image, name like an image, or name?
With the yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 to me.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, that helps I guess the character of some athletes.
Right.
Whereas though, I mean, in college and stuff like that, you don't get paid, you know, whereas though you bring in the university money and stuff like that, but you get your own liking because now it's more of a social media thing. You get enough uh, likes or whatever the case may be, it ups your, I guess your status or whatever the case may be. I don't really, you know, follow
Right.
it too much, but
Okay.
it's a good thing for some athletes and stuff like that. But it can hurt you in the long run
Got you.
because I mean, some of you paying for your likes for maybe 1 or 2 years.
Right.
You know, that's not going to guarantee you getting no pro league or whatever the case may be, unless you go, you know, overseas or something like that, or G League or whatever. Okay, but that's rare nowadays.
Right.
You know, with how the pandemic and stuff, that stuff slowed a lot of stuff up. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, anything to, you know, get in between the lines of, you know, you becoming professional or whatever case may be, you know, they're gonna create some stuff, you know, and I don't knock it. They do what they do, but me personally, I don't really follow it as much. You know, for whoever likes it, you know, I
Right.
respect it, but me personally, I wouldn't get involved in it.
Right. Um, coaching in the DCIAA.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in there before. Do you
Uh-huh.
see yourself coming back into coaching on in DC on a high school level, or Maryland, Virginia, or what have you?
Well, it has to be the right situation. You know, my thing is, you know, I got the experience to be a high school coach. I definitely appreciative of that.
Right.
But it has to be the right experience, right situation. You know, as far as with the school, um, you know, get more kids that's trying to get in school.
Right.
Is, you know, because I can't do 90% of the work and you doing 10%. That's not gonna work.
Right.
Meet me halfway.
Oh
You do
yeah.
what you're supposed to do in that classroom. You come and workouts and stuff like that. Don't get involved in no stuff outside of school, BSing around, getting caught up with your friends, doing no stuff like that.
Right.
I got you.
Absolutely.
Anybody could tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't care if the kid, I ain't never coached a kid. Any other kid that I come across, I get people call me about, you know, I'm trying to, you know, my kid, this and that, you know, somebody, and I'll have no problem. I'll keep my word. I'll
Yeah.
make a call. This and that. I got this kid, this and that, you know, and we do it like that. You know, but
Absolutely.
you got to meet me halfway. I can't do it 90% of the time. And like the parents and stuff like that, you know, you got parents that's, man, they on point about getting their kid, you know, in a good situation. But you got some parents that, you know, in reality, your kid is not going to make it.
Right.
And you know, you got to work a little bit more hard, stuff like that, because a lot of these coaches and stuff like that, like the coach, the school that you're trying to go to, or you think your kid gonna play at,
Right.
it's not gonna work.
Right.
Not another avenue. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just being real.
Yeah.
Not another avenue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, basketball is a great tool to get ahead of life.
Oh yeah.
It's a great tool. But also is that you don't have to be able to play basketball to be around basketball.
Right. That's so true. Your father a good example of that. Like
Great example.
Great example.
The man turned down jobs from the NBA, NFL, all that, because he was at Howard all them years. He turned jobs down because he was at Howard, because the stuff that he was doing. The man, he was a professor at Howard as well, teaching sports media, and he got some of the biggest names with major jobs, ESPN,
right,
NFL, NBA, all that, man.
Real.
Like he knows, like the dude, Stan Vip, I forget, Stu, not Stan. Dude, that's what the with ESPN, yeah, Stan Verdict or whatever his name. I forgot his name, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to mess his name up.
I got you. You talking about my man from that do the night joint?
Probably so, yeah. But it's a lot of dudes that James Brown. That's one of my father's close friends. James Brown, the commentator.
Yeah.
That's one of his close friends. Michael Wilbon. Like I met all of them. I met all of them. They came and speak to my father class every year and all that stuff. I met all of them. They got a dude that came through Howard. I didn't even know that I knew his father. His father grew up with my mother and them. Dude named Michael Lindo. He's with Detroit Pistons right now.
Wow.
And him and Hanif was, working together with Under Armour for some years, and they offered Mike Lindo a job with Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
So it's a number of things that like the sports information directors from a lot of those, which my father was on the committee for that.
Wow.
So
legendary, man.
There's a lot of stuff, man.
That Hill, man, he set the tone, and then y'all picked it right up where he left over. You know what I'm saying? He's still involved, right? Like, I know he retired from Howard, but he
still contracts out with them and does stuff, write stories and all that stuff like that. So he's still up and moving. Man, the coach for Howard, Kenny Blakely.
Yeah,
came out of our program.
Wow. He went to Duke too, right?
Yep.
Wow.
He came out of our program. That's he's doing real well at Howard and stuff like that. The starting point guard that he plays for him, Elijah Hawkins, he played for me.
Wow.
Good kid, man. Great kid. Good background. He got
a good deal too. I just saw
the Jordan brand.
Yeah, he got the Jordan brand, man, and that's big on that level right there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, his father, real good dude, man. Vermont, man. I've been knowing him for years, and his uncle is Taj Hawkins that runs New World.
Wow.
Yeah. So he just, matter of fact, he just got a coaching job at one of the schools, one of the private schools or something like in the area.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got some kids, man, that's doing well, man. I got a kid at Lafayette University, who just got an internship with Fidelity Investments, in Boston. He's still at Lafayette. His name is Ronald Gross. He played at McKinley Tech about 2 years ago. I got my little cousin who's Jomo Goins.
Okay.
He's at Slippery Rock University.
Yeah. In North Carolina, right?
No, they're in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Gotcha.
Elijah Hawkins, and then I got a kid that just transferred to Morehouse.
Okay.
His name is Joe Mail McNair. He tough.
Okay.
Wide assassin.
So Morehouse going to be on a map this year because they got the other younger from Roosevelt too, right?
Yep. Yeah, he that's gonna be a good little combination with them, stuff like that. I got some kids that, man, came up, and I got a kid, man, that crazy part. I had this kid when he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
This kid named Kai, man, he about 6'5" at 12 years old.
Wow.
He had got accepted into the Johns Hopkins program.
Wow.
He's a doctor right now.
That's big. That's big.
He's number maybe 23 years old.
Wow. Hey, that's big though, because and reason why I like that is because that's what this is all about, man. It ain't all about going pro, man. It ain't
Nah.
all about, chasing that dream there too. Like
Mhm.
being a doctor, that's just equivalent as making it to the
At
elite.
that age as
Yeah,
well, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's big, man. So big
Yeah.
ups to him, man, on doing that. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's a lot more people that's watching and things of that nature, man. You can go be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever you want to do, own your own business. My man Abdul Hill talked about his brother, man, owning a museum, went to DC public schools, man. So it can work for you either way. So
Oh yeah, most
that's
definitely.
that's the message I want to get out to people, man. Like that's something out of nothing. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that means. That means, creating your own way. And when people thought that it was over, you know,
Mm-hmm.
look what you're talking about. Your man
Mm-hmm.
becoming a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and went to school here from here, right?
Yeah. Young's from here, man. He's, you know, 12 years old, he got accepted in the program. So just that's 10 years, 11 years ago.
Hey, wow, man.
At that age, you getting accepted in John Hopkins program. That's big, man.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
That's real big, man.
Absolutely. Couple of more questions, man.
Mhm.
We talked about like you coached your son at one point, right? At
I coached
Cadoza.
my son since he was 5 years old. My
Wow,
son played for me youth basketball, and he played in high school with me.
wow, man.
Crazy
How
part,
was it?
he was like heavily recruited out of middle school,
Wow.
where he went to Raymond and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
his top choice was McKinley Tech, and they didn't even accept him in the school. And
Wow.
he had like a 3.8 grade point average.
I wonder what see it be stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get it, and just so happened around that time, that's when I accepted the job at Cardozo, and then we went up to so McKinley was his first choice, and then we went up. I took him to Curl for a visit,
Okay.
and the coach at Curl at the time, he wasn't even recruiting kids. He didn't even know who my son was.
Wow.
So after that, my son said to me, just like, man, he said, man, I'm gonna just come to Cardozo with you. I was like, all
Right.
right. Because I let him choose his own school. I wasn't just because I took over the job,
Right.
I wasn't trying to push him to come to Cardozo.
Right.
I
What
just
what are some of the things that you did? Because we talked about the and this is an important question. I never asked nobody this question before, but
mhm,
being as though you coach your son and
mhm,
not just your son, any other kid that go to DC public schools or
mhm,
whatever, what are some of the things that you did with your son
mhm,
to kind of balance the workload that
mhm,
that was at DC public schools and
right.
where you wanted to get them at?
Uh-huh.
What
Well, one of the things that always had my son do what he's supposed to do in that classroom. He
yeah,
took care of that and stuff like that because it became a habit for him. So I just wanted to get him, established with that first before I even take care of anybody else.
right,
Because if he does that, my job is a lot easier was so I can help others.
right,
So having that balance with was though that dealing with, a number of kids and stuff like because he was always with me, whether I was at number 10 or, even with at the school, whatever like that, he do what he's supposed to do in that classroom.
right,
I can do what I need to do on my end. I ain't got to worry about nobody calling me saying, "Oh, your son acting up, this and that, whatever the case may be." And
right,
that kind of helped me out a lot as a father because
right,
you got to have that balance between the father and the coach. I didn't show
abs-
no favoritism to him,
right,
especially when it came to coaching.
right,
If I one thing I know about my son is that from him playing basketball at an early age and stuff like that, he was a lot more advanced than a lot of other kids that I didn't have to teach them that. With him,
absolutely,
he make a mistake, I know what he gonna do. He gonna get back on defense. That's what he was taught.
right,
And if he make too many mistakes, I'm snatching him just like I snatch any other kid.
right,
I always give a kid opportunity and stuff like that. Anybody could tell you, any team that I ever coached, even with my program in number 10 and stuff like that,
right,
you come to practice, every kid should play. Every
right,
kid.
right,
And everybody knows that about me. Like that's why I have so many kids because I always told even the coaches that had other teams were under my program,
Right.
and make sure every kid plays in the game. Every kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Hey man,
that's a big part, man.
yeah, that's tough right there. And a lot of people though, because a lot of people feel like, man, well, I'm gonna play this kid at this particular point, or
Yeah, you want to win. I get that. You want
yeah,
to win, but
yeah,
also you want to be fair as well, because the thing is, at the end of basketball,
yeah,
those kids will always have a bond because they were a part of something. And
absolutely,
that's more important than anything, whether it's basketball, whatever the case may be, they will have that bond for a lifetime. Even
absolutely,
I look at it because the thing is, even like with the teams that we played with, that I was on and stuff like that, all those
yeah,
guys and stuff like that that went on, maybe made all met, whatever like that.
yeah,
I didn't achieve none of those accomplishments as far as being all met, and I could have,
yeah,
but also is that I look at it as that if I see them and stuff like that, it's all love.
absolutely,
It's all love, and I'd rather have that than somebody looking at me different and say, "Oh man, he think he like that," or whatever the case may be.
right,
That I don't have that problem. And I
absolutely,
teach that all the kids that you have that bond. It's like a brotherhood, man.
yeah,
And that brotherhood is that you shouldn't have no tension amongst each other, especially when you're doing something for a number. Even if you play together for 1 year,
yeah,
you're gonna respect one another. When you see one another, hey, it should be love between you.
right.
Yeah.
Things that people can look forward to from you now, like can you talk about that? Like what are your goals in the next 5 years with far as coaching and basketball is concerned?
Well, one of the things that I still do basketball training. Um, I'll be doing training up at Emory Rec Center on
Okay,
Saturday mornings from like 9 to like 11:30 with Darrell Mack, who's one of the legendary coaches in this area as well.
okay,
Mack been around for years. Mack was coaching when I was a young.
got you.
So I've been up there with him, with working out some kids and stuff like that. Helping out. Looking, and I'm definitely going to try to start doing some tournaments and some combines and some um, camps and stuff like that for a lot of youth in the area and stuff like that, especially like a lot of middle school kids, and invite some of these kids to put something together and invite the high school coaches out to see some of
Gotcha.
these kids that don't, get that recognition of,
Man,
seeing that and stuff like, because that helps out a lot of programs and get a lot of these kids some exposure.
yeah,
Um, it's not about no money thing. It's about them getting exposure. Uh, from some schools and stuff like that, who might not get, know that they might have a diamond in the rough on these kids that, that might be under the radar. You don't even know,
oh yeah, for
you
sure.
know. Um, Also, some of the doing some things probably definitely in the future with my man Mel George,
Okay,
who has done a tremendous job with getting youngins scholarships out of high school. That's the one who did the combine at PG that had about 90. It's called they call it the basketball group, and
okay,
he had like 90 kids, man, out of high school and Portal kids there, man, and
yeah,
I couldn't believe, man, it was that many kids in there,
man.
and
Everybody trying to get somewhere, man.
everybody try to get somewhere, man, and that's how it should be. I want to be definitely have an open market for that, as
Yeah,
well as helping, especially with the camps with the little kids and stuff like that. As far as coaching, like I said, man, just have to be the right situation, was though I can build a program like I always done, and
yeah,
I know how to build it from scratch. I don't have
yeah.
no problem with that, I've it's been in the past, even when I was at Cadoza, I turned kids away not to come to Cadoza. That's crazy.
Wow,
I mean, actually told their parent, no, don't send them here
wow. What?
because
Why? Why? Why?
because because well, at that time, like I said, like I don't want to put no parent in no situation with though. My thing is academics first.
Yeah,
So at Cadoza, I'm not saying that the teachers don't do their job. What I'm
right.
saying is that the environment
Right. Yeah,
is a lot different. So I wouldn't want to put your child in that position, was that you get sidetracked and do some other stuff.
Right.
Because Cadoza is kind of a hard school to sell,
So,
nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's not. It's a legendary school, historic school. My father went there.
Yeah.
He went there.
Yeah.
You know, some of the greats, Greg Jones, Moochie Norris.
Yeah.
But
That would surprise me too. Not to cut you off or intervene. It surprised me you ain't go there.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing, I could have went there.
Yeah.
You know, but at that time and stuff like that, I didn't even think about going to Cadoza at that time. Because I mean, I could have back then. I could have been rock and roll, because they had at that time. Me auditioning with my man Lamar Crawford, who was playing point back then. Greg Baylor, was back then. Deontay Holden, which was my man. We came up together. He was there, and then Sheik was over there, and then Irk was there. Irk Branham.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of dudes and stuff. We could have really did some things down there. And then Neef transferred there from Laurel Baptist. So we could have been really, just imagine me and Neef on the same high school team.
Man. Hey, man. Stop. And then Muhammad when Jihad didn't play ball, did Jihad?
Nah, Jihad, man. Jihad just, he different, man. He got his own character, man. Jihad, he just got that character about him, man. Sports wasn't his thing. He just chose another avenue and stuff like that. But he's more on the Jihad is a hilarious, man. That's a funny dude, man. Muhammad had a nice little squad. Ricky Branham, which was Irk Branham's little brother. Was there, stuff like that. Muhammad, they had a couple of pieces and stuff like that back then. Then once Muhammad went out Fairmont Heights, him and Christmas Cray was putting up numbers out there. So
it's tough.
Yeah.
Man, that legendary, like I said, your family was legendary, man, and still is. And man, a household name in the area, and out, like you said, outside the area. You said somebody knew Pops in Utah, so worldwide, man. You doing your thing, Muhammad Hanif, you know what I'm saying, Jihad, you know what I'm saying, all y'all. And I don't know your sister name, like
Manir, my sister Manir. Yeah.
You only have one sister?
Yeah, one sister.
Wow.
She played basketball in junior high, and then she stopped.
Yeah, she was like, I ain't doing that no more.
She said she was saying she just wasn't really interested in stuff. But she ended up graduating from Howard, stuff like that. She's like a real big Howard alumna.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
But she's doing well,
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I gotta have you back on, man, because I know like you so full of knowledge and got so many stories, man. It's just hard to cover it in one segment, man. So I'm definitely gonna have you back and get your expertise and your opinion on different scenarios and things like that. And now I got your number and different things like that.
Most
definitely gonna stay in touch with you. Again, glad to have you on. Before I let you go though, how could I got two things. How could people get in contact with you if they want to reach out and get involved in some of the things that you're doing?
They can definitely email me.
Okay.
I wouldn't give my number out.
No, you can do email and
email, and I got I'm on the IG thing. So,
okay.
Email coach.hill21@gmail.com.
Right.
And then my IG is coach202 Hill.
I heard it right there.
Yeah. So I definitely, as far as doing some stuff, and I probably also do get into like the events and stuff like that. So I'll be probably next year I'm working on doing like some comedy events and some music events as well. Some major concerts or something like that. So
that's big.
Definitely, man, look out for that. And we definitely talk, man. I definitely, man, this was definitely, man, I haven't did talk this long in a while since I've been talking to kids.
Took you back in the coaching days, like you giving after a loss or something, man. I'm in the preaching for around about 30, 45 minutes. Parents want to know
That's cool though. I have
kids
no problem. We talk, we laugh and we talk. I'm
right.
always like that when I see people and stuff like that. I'm always
Yeah.
like that with them anyway. We always have a conversation, whether it's short or whether it's a long conversation.
Yeah.
So just having a good rapport with people, man, that's the way to go, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything that we didn't touch on that you really wanted to get off or say something, anything that I missed or whatever that you.
No, just mainly a big shout out to the folks that helped me along is my father and LeBerry Williams, rest in peace. Mitch Cradle,
Yeah.
Damon Roberts, Tony Langley,
Yeah.
Sylvester Simpkins.
Okay.
Some of my coaches that big shout out to Mason Clark over at Woodbridge that runs the Woodbridge organization.
Yeah.
So they've been going on. I think Mason told me that this is their 60th year
Ooh.
of an organization and stuff. And that guy, man, Mason Clark is one of those. He's a definitely legend in this area.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Cliff Webster from Kingman Boys and Girls Club. I definitely salute off to him because we went to the summer camp and stuff like that there at Kingman, and the things that he's done for young men over the years and stuff like that. Definitely a DC legend. Who else? Oh, Miss Lucille Hester. If you don't know who this lady is, you ask anybody, older or whatever the case may be, and there's probably some people you came across that this lady named Miss Lucille Hester, man. She used to run the National Youth Sports Program up at UDC.
Wow.
It used to be a camp up in the evening time in the summertime.
Yeah.
This is one of the best camps I've ever been to in my life, man. That's why I met so many people from across the city. Northeast, Southwest, Southeast, uptown, whatever the case may be. That lady put that camp was off the chain. And a lot of the folks that I came up with and stuff like that was able to go there and everything like that. And just a big shout out to you, man, to keep, man, just reaching out to myself as well as people that you interviewed in the past and stuff like that. Big Trey, Dana P, Kevin Lewis. You said Mike McLeese too, right?
Yeah, Mike McLeese.
Mike McLeese, man,
got
my man.
Rob Gardner.
Rob Gardner, yeah, man. You as you continue to do it, man, I hope it, man, grows bigger and bigger for you and stuff like that. Because have you got Malcolm on here yet?
Nah, I was trying to wait, man. Because I didn't want, like I was telling my cousin, I didn't want people to think that because I knew him or like I know y'all guys, but I didn't want people to be like, oh well, he real close to him. So
man, don't worry, man. Listen, don't worry about all that now.
I'm not now, but I was just saying,
get
like,
Malcolm Battle on here, man, because Malcolm Battle deserves it, man.
I gotta get him on here because I wanted to get him on here a long time, like for a minute, and it's gonna happen. I just was trying to wait, like.
Just get it at the right time. So like, but Malcolm Battle, man, he's really somebody, man, really need to get on, because, man, the things that he's done for kids and stuff, like people don't know about Malcolm. Malcolm, he worked with things, how he has it, he deal with it how he deal, man, and he get them kids, man, all those kids that's on that side of town and stuff like that, man. He has definitely, man, got them a new direction. Also, you need to holler, man, Dwayne Shackelford, man.
Oh yeah, I reached out.
Shaq, man.
Yeah, that's my man.
I love what they doing, man. I love what they doing, man. There's guys like that, man. I really, got a lot of much respect for, man. Like I said, like with Ollie Foster as well at Tech, doing a heck of a job with that program.
Yeah.
Those guys and stuff like that, man. Even Durkee, Washington.
Yeah, Durkee. I watched him come up. Like,
so
I watched them from all the way
dudes,
from
man.
MM.
Yeah, a lot of those dudes, man, they're doing a good job with those programs and stuff like that, man.
Oh yeah.
Also,
definitely.
Dirk Davis at Coolidge, the girls coach.
Yeah.
We got, man, this year they're gonna be nice, man.
They're gonna be a force to reckon with.
They're gonna be a force to reckon with. They're gonna be nice.
Man, I hope I don't gotta see them, man. if I ever coach on that level right there, I hope I don't got
And, but you know, it's good to put those girls in that fire, man. You know, get them better and stuff like that. Because I'm always a strong believer in that. Because my first year, Cadoza.
I remember meeting you. I don't know if you remember. I was at the game and I'm like, man, who y'all play tomorrow? You like, man, we got the Panther. I'm like, what made you do that? He was like, man, I don't care.
I don't care nothing about that. Like I have that same mentality when I was young and stuff like that. Like the youngest have to understand, even this area. Like you're not supposed to back down for no competition.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna get better, you go play the best, and you'll see if basketball is for you or not. Right. Those teams like the Math and stuff, they get a lot of kids and stuff like that. And you know, Mike Jones, they had no problem with putting me on the schedule and stuff like that. He put me on the schedule because, you know, just to respect. I've been knowing Mike since I was a kid. Right. So when I called him and stuff like that, you know, it wasn't no problem. You know, and look what he's doing now. You know, he went from DeMatha, he's at Virginia Tech now. Big ups to him, you know what I'm saying? Big because he opened up another opportunity for kids, especially from this area.
Yeah, they got that recruit from Wilson. Man.
Yeah, June. Yeah. June, man. June gonna do some things, man. Yeah, so, real good kid too, man. Real good kid.
That was a good pickup.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah. Man, big ups to you, man. I appreciate the blessing, man. And like I said, we gonna do this again, man.
Yeah, most definitely. I look forward to it.
Yeah, man, you got so many stories and different things like that, man. It's just amazing. It's just an honor to be on here with you, to share the platform with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of fulfilling my dreams. That one of my dreams, man. And I had a friend of mine tell me, like, man, you know, sometimes people talk about fulfilling their dreams and different things like that, but it's really happening for me, man. And I'm just blessed and honored to, you know, have you guys on here.
I'm glad I'm a part of that journey, man.
Most yes, definitely. Sir. No doubt, man. We're gonna end it like this, man. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to have you, man. We're gonna have you back on, man. Something Out of Nothing Sports Podcast. Get at my man Abdul Hill, man, one of the great legends in the area, man. Come from a great background. The Hill family in itself, man, legendary in the area, man. So y'all reach out to him, you know what I'm saying? Follow him on IG, email him, and we're going to leave off that note, man.
Appreciate it, Rome.
Yes, sir, man. Till next time,
bro. You take care, man. Till next time.
All right, bro.
All right, peace.
Bye.